Hi, and welcome to my channel. Obviously, you can see a bunch of scrapbook paper here. Today, we are going to be doing a little bit of collaging with some scrapbook paper. I have accumulated a ton of it through just thrifting and junk, and a lot of it's patterned. So obviously, I have pre-sketched a turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm also gonna be using transfer paper. I think what I'm gonna try and do to start out with is kind of just try and pick a base color. And I did draw this directly on scrapbook paper. I meant for it to be bigger. It didn't end up being bigger, but that's okay. I'm a genius. I did it upside down. But because of that, I have these lines here. What I can easily do, or try to do, is just do the same thing over again in a different way. I'm gonna put wax paper over top this. And then take something blunt. I'll use the end of a paintbrush and just rub. So I'm going to get my basic shapes of what I need on here first. It. I'm gonna keep using this as my guide, so this is not what I'm gonna be gluing everything onto. I'm gonna be using a background, but I also want like a foreground. So I'm gonna try and find, I like this like autumnal florals. It's got like your muted tones in your brown background. If I can find something more on the greener side that's similar, I'll use that for like my grassy kind of tones. That would be cute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut kind of like a swirly-ish, lightly swirled line for my foreground. I'm gonna leave some aside to do like little blades of grass and stuff. So instead of going right to the edge, especially because I have a somewhat dull knife, I'm gonna go just a little bit in, because I don't plan on it being the size of an entire scrapbook paper, because look at the size of my turkey. So I don't really care if it tears a little bit, and even if it does, you just go back and you go that way. This one's really thick, and it's not too distracting with a bunch of different colors. I'm gonna go in the corner. You know what, for this one I am gonna tape it down. The reference photo that I'm using today is not one that I took. It's also not one that I just stole off of Google like I used to do before I started posting, but it is one from actually another Facebook resource. It's a group that I joined. I lied earlier. I said that I only use Facebook for Marketplace, but I also use it for some groups. I don't really post my own stuff on there, but I use it as a resource, is basically what it comes down to. And there are multiple free reference photo pages and groups on there that you can join. I don't know if there's any like specific to certain areas or what. The one that I joined, I think I actually joined maybe 2. The one that I joined has people from all over the world. They include their location most of the time. I just reached out on there and was like, hey, does anybody have a picture of a male turkey with like all the plumage and everything like that? I'd really like to draw that. Please and thank you, you know. So somebody fulfilled that request very graciously. So I'm going to be using that photo, even though it is a free use photo. It is from a private group on Facebook, so I don't feel comfortable sharing that on the video like I normally do with y'all this time, just because that photo is not my work. I'm using it as a reference. The main purpose of this project is to use up craft and art supplies that I don't typically use and prepare for next year. Part of what I do in preparation for New Year's is start organizing ahead of time. Go through things, get rid of stuff, and then when I do reorganize for the new year and start my year off right, I have less to go through, for one. And 2, I'm not just throwing out and donating everything just to get a clear space. I've used it up, I've put it to good use, and that's that. So I did work on this a little bit last night, and I thought it was recording, and it did record, but just as I was setting up. So there is a little bit more done than the last time you saw it. So yet again, video goofed up. Yeah, I'm recording. So yet again, video goofed up. I did this section. You can still see the lines a little bit. I'm probably gonna put a little bit of white over that if I have time. And then I just did a little bit of the wing and up here and up here. So just pretend you saw that. although the tail doesn't have nearly as much detail as I wanted it to, I think I am gonna last. So I'm just gonna put this over everything that's wet so that I can cut and clean up the back part. So now I have our background here. And I have our little turkey, who still needs to dry, mind you. But I'm gonna place him in here. And then I'm just going to try not to get too much of the background, but I wanna seal him a little bit. And then I'll put a piece of wax paper over him and put a heavy book over him. And then before I post in the morning, I will include a still image at the end. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to stay artsy, and happy Thanksgiving.